Hello and welcome back to British QuadballUK 2023. My name is Alex Lewis. I'll be your commentator for this game, a game of East Midlands Vipers versus Kelpies. It's one of the lower bracket elements of the community bracket. Both teams, I think, maybe having a win. I know that Vipers definitely got a win against West Country Rebels yesterday. I'm not too sure on the track record for Kelpies. Both teams will be eager to get at least one more win under their belt before this day is through. Just looking up the scores for Kelpies, seeing if they have. No, it looks like Kelpies still looking for their first win of the tournament. Apologies if I'm wrong in that one, but so we'll see. You'd argue then based on form alone that would put Vipers as the favourites, but we'll have to see how the game goes there. Head referee Ollie Wynn, and we get ready on the line. Oh, a resounding cheer from the Vipers. Kelpies getting the first victory and being referred to as the teal team. It's nice to have your priorities there. And we're off, and it looks like Kelpies have won the ball. Number 5, the Kelpies keeper, managing to just dive upon it, but pressure from number 25 of the Vipers from getting around and getting hands on the ball, but now managing just to pass it off to Eamon Harrison for Kelpies. And now they set up. Looks like Vipers are playing a 2-2 defense. Although I can't actually. Oh, that's. I could not see the other Vipers chaser who was in a Thestrals kit. Ball over. Oh, and unlucky tries for the smack. But honestly, if he just managed to keep 2 hands in, he could have maybe put that one in. It was a very good positioning. Ball over the top for Emily Burton, who does finish and through the hoop for Vipers. A quick, fast break as the Kelpies beater found themselves off pitch. Dominance is with Vipers, Marcus Judge and Timothy Luke on beating partnership. And looks like, yeah, they're 2-2 defense for Vipers, as a simple box set up for Kelpies. Always a very, very strong start, you moving around. The Kelpies beaters appeared to be playing a keeping one, and goal is good. Very simple little goal. Goal is no good? Goal is no good. Apologies, I misheard that one. I think I saw some hands in the air, but it appears like good movement, but unfortunately the shot was not there for the Kelpies keeper. Kelpies operating, having their keeper stay back on the hoops, which those who watched last game can be risky depending on the style of play. It seems like Vipers won't punish that as much as Warwick were. See if they progress to getting there. And as Vipers progress up the pitch, the bludger screening has now left the point. Bludger, Marcus Judge making an advancement. A lovely little switch to shade. Pass to Emily Burton, who turns, does really well, but unfortunately is snaffled up, is beat of her receiver. And then a beautiful block by number 5, the keeper. And I think, yeah, there was a lovely little beat by the Kelpies beater as well. Very good. I'd argue it wasn't scrappy as much as it was actually quite a good organised defence from Kelpies there. The question now, so Kelpies beater, armed beater now joining the attack. They're setting up. They're a bit low, only one behind hoops, and unfortunately that ball is just a bit too high. It seems the Kelpies keeper needs to just maybe reorientate their aim a little bit. They're getting a bit high every single time. They just need to aim a little bit lower, and they might have a bit more success. And Emily Burton probing down on the left for Vipers, a position that she has seen a lot of joy in right now in this game already. And Vipers going for the napalm with Timothy Luke. Timothy Luke beat though. Vipers maximize on this. Eamon using his long length to get and stop the ball. Looks at the options. Goes for a shot. Doesn't really get close to either hoop. But you know what? The shot's always on. And as he says, you've got to have one try. So I've got to respect him for you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, Alex Lewis. And the ball back with Vipers after that quick break. Vipers unable to get dominance back after that napalm. Dominance still with Marcus Judge and Timothy Luke. Emily Burton probing around on the left as the ball carrier for Vipers stretches around to the right. They've got a sort of inverted sort of diamond almost of the box as they're very flexible movement. And over to the ball behind to Emily Burton, but it's a bit behind her, so she loses all the sort of benefit she'd have got from being there. Shade Cuthbert passes, but doesn't see the beater there to the receiver. And somehow, actually, Kelpies actually got back dominance, which allowed them to then have a fast break onto goal with a no-blood situation to be finished by number 5, finally getting the goal that they've been working so hard for. But Marcus Judge was not happy about having lost out on that, so tries to come up with a very aggressive play, but doesn't really work with that other beater. So is beat out by Rix's beater partner, and then simply has to run back to hoops now that no one's there to collect that bludger. So a questionable rush there, really, that really seemed to serve no actual demonstrable purpose at all, and brought no benefit to Vipers, unfortunately. It's a shame because they've been doing a lot better with the beater game before, but now we'll see how when the ball is, they don't have dominance, how well they are good at getting it back. You're only as good as your last dominance. And we got a beautiful little run, wonderful little work from Baker for Vipers, jinking and doodling around the defense for a larger quaffle carrier. Very good agility there, not just using their strength, their size to bulldoze through. And Marcus Judge for Vipers finds themselves on the wrong side of the pitch, which essentially creates a no-blood situation, but they do manage to get the ball back, and unfortunately Kelpies are unable to maximise on the opportunity. But very odd there that Marcus Judge found themselves essentially at the opposition hoops with Fogg, the Kelpies beater, between them and Rix behind them, more or less keeping them penned in, going for the beat, which then allowed for the immunity to be called as they can collect the bludger, which is maybe what they should have done as he waited a bit longer. And it is Molly on the quaffle, screened, passing it off quickly to Baker. The tack from Jandal's beat, passing it around. The good support from the beater, but maybe a bit close the safe reset, and unfortunately just a bit too high. The call for reset comes from Molly. I think there was maybe a bit of the spacing there in the set for Vipers. Bit too close, safe reset and the ball carrier, allowing the beater to sort of clean up a bit too easily. You want to have, if you're going to force out the beat, at least make them have to run to get the second person when there wasn't much movement had to be done. A change in beater personnel for Kelpies comes in with a very strong tackle with a napalm, actually, it turns out. Kelpies with the dominance. And having wrapped up the single bludger for a very effective napalm, having wrapped up the single bludger for Vipers, allowed them to essentially score on what was a no bludgers. I can't work out where the other bludger is. Oh, it is there. It was all the way back. So Sam Tulloch doing very well as well to also get the bludger back for them, meaning the Vipers beater had to run all the way to the keeper zone of Kelpies to get back. These have been some very good beater plays from the Kelpies team right now. And Vipers, it appears that Lucy Nichols sort of shadowing Fogg, and a trade, no beat for Marcus Judge means that Marcus Judge is actually in that trade-off, managed to avoid being beat and beat the Kelpies beater, allowing them to get back possessions. Whilst they didn't get a goal, they did get dominance back, which is at least something better that than no goal and no dominance. We have Jandals for Kelpies. Oh, fake shots, turns, twists, and then passes it back to Eamon anyway. We have Sam Tulloch going, smacks it out of Marcus Judge's hand, but unfortunately, Eamon Harrison does miss the shot. Was very unlucky, was a very good movement, and very good work from Sam Tulloch to utilise Marcus Judge, who was not watching and was not warned by any of their other players of the impending presence. A question about Eamon. Headband, who is now in the green. Ollie Wynn, the referee, asking for a change in that colour of headband. Josh Fogg being pressured by Marcus Judge. who has then been able to collect their bludger. But because Lucy Nichols was beat by Sam Tulloch, was not able to then get on that other one, leaving Marcus Judge to collect as much as they can do, and only ended up getting one bludger. Sam Tulloch doing well to hold down the fort there. But that did come at the cost of a quaffle goal. Unfortunately, as I am by myself, I was not able to see what that quaffle goal was. I was busy noting on the bludger play. But that came from maybe a bit, I guess, the sacrifice of dominance, from the aggression of the Vipers beaters, allowing them to just run it through. And Kelpies keeping it calm. And finally, Eamon has found his eye and does get that one in the central hoop. Using the height really there, I think that just came from the fact that Eamon towers a good 3-4 inches above the rest of the defense, so can just easily put that one in. And that is number 1 for Vipers on the ball, passing it. Oh, not enough power. Doesn't find the receiver. Passes it over to Eamon Harrison. Like, Kelpies are doing a very good job. I feel like they are being very structured attack, but also I feel like Vipers are being a bit wasteful. If I'm honest, it does feel like we are seeing one team playing at their best and one team playing at not their best, and it's a question of if Vipers can get up to their best to match Kelpies. And can Kelpies maximise on this opportunity to extend the lead rather than just being tied at 3-3? And that is a ball back to Eamon. That is nothing to sneer at. That is always best to be safe. You still have dominance. You still keep it slow. Take your time. Eamon seeing that central hoop again, but actually seeing the pass, sending us all looking. Oh, Chandles nearly gets in the central hoop, but manages, most importantly, to keep the ball. So that is actually a very effective. Keeps dominance, keeps the ball. Kelpies keeping it very calm. Vipers also keeping it. Eamon dashing in and does not get through the hoop. Unfortunately, hits it at the bottom, flicks it over the top, is collected by number 1 Birch and into the hands of Vipers keeper. That was very unfortunate for Eamon. Ironically, almost the benefit of his height is, oh, I don't know what happened there. There was a beat, I think, seemed on the Vipers keeper, who appears now to go off with a sore neck. But yeah, and dominance is now with Vipers. So they've done very well to not only not concede, but also to gain back dominance as they advance up the pitch. Oh, we have a brooms down situation as Ollie Wynn discusses with his assistant referee, Matthew Houghton. I think it's an interesting question of what sort of discussions might be had with the Vipers players right now. I think they know that they're not playing at their best. I think the communication is maybe a thing that's lacking, one of those sort of fundamentals, and they're not linking up the beaters as well with the chasers. I think that's the issue. Kelpies are doing well to have a very set structure. They're being very calm on the attack, as we saw in that last run. It was very good to not rush it. I think there were maybe some points where Eamon felt he had a good opportunity, and I think he did. He was very unfortunate, caught out by the fact that his height almost cost him on the smaller hoop there. But Vipers really do need to step up if they wish to continue and get another win under their belt. Kelpies playing for getting their first win of the tournament. So we will see how this goes. And we start with the Vipers beater high up with the quaffle carrier. That is a good, about halfway between midline and the hoops. And there is a, it appears there was an element of a hoop malfunction. We have, seems a leakage. And so we have swapped around the hoops, giving a bit more weight to the base of the larger hoop and that leak being given to the smaller hoop. No card given. Looked like it was just a equipment change. Oh, and very unlucky for the Vipers chaser, who has that great opportunity given to them by the Vipers beater to get it in, but unfortunately just spun the hoop, doesn't quite get it through the hoop. And I think they didn't have much further they could have gone. I think they would have probably been wrapped up or someone would have blocked them. So I think the shot was the right choice. I think they just got a bit unlucky. Vipers being very quick to reset the defense. Kelpies happy to let them and take it slower. I think that's a good choice for Kelpies. Kelpies, Sam Tulloch giving running this attack almost, giving instructions to the chaser. Eamon passing it over to the left, and a safe reset to Jandals. This is very good, calm play. They're avoiding that press. And the Vipers beater coming in, put on that pressure, made Eamon make that attack, that shot, but Molly does get the block in the way, and it's a fast break as there is a no bludger situation, but Molly passes it over laterally to Adams, who gets it around and calmly pops it into the hoop. A very good goal. Very good opportunity made by the Vipers beaters. And good vision from Molly to see the break as it is. And that's a bit better communication. I mean, a no bludger situation is always the important part of conversation, but communication. But you've got to make sure that your players hear it. And Emily Burton comes on for Molly. Emily Burton has scored, I think, 2 this game so far. Can she add a 3rd? Eamon Harrison advancing up the pitch. Passing it, but doesn't get, just a bit too low. That contact from Emily Burton appeared to sort of just offset his throw so that it hit the ground instead, and is just a bit shy of number 24 Glover for Kelpies. The number 5, the previously keeper headband, is now come on as a chaser, and we have Anderson 21 for Kelpies as well, completing their chaser lineup. And we have the original starting lineup of Fogg and Ricks in beating headbands, and we match it as well with Timothy Luke and Marcus Judge. Vipers passing it around the side, but that is a good little block for number 5, Josh Fogg, focusing on Quaffle only and clearing that one up. And Vipers reset for attack. Again, Kelpies slowly advancing out of pitch. I think they're very happy with how the score is going right now. I think they're happy to keep it this way. Obviously, I probably prefer to be out of snitch range, but I think they know that right now as long as you're within snitch range, you have a good chance of staying in the game, and you don't want the game to get away from you. Number 5 for Vipers, running in, spins the hoop, does not get it through. I wonder if there's an issue of he might have missed, but also I think always you're more at risk of it not being called if you do spin a hoop like that, which is very fair. And Emily Burton first on the ball, but does unfortunately pass it to Gigi, who was already beat. And then Emily Burton lets herself get taken by Eamon, who tries a long-range shot. You've got to admire the gall and the audacity, but unfortunately you cannot admire the aim because it did not go through the hoop. And we have the ball back with Vipers. Very intense moment there. To recap now, it appears that bludgers have changed hands. Dominance is now with Kelpies. This has been a very back and forth game in terms of bludger dominance. It's been very good. And we have a timeout called, it appears, as Vipers go to discuss. Well, Vipers have managed to pull it back a little bit. They are now 1 up, so they aren't fully tied. I mean, the game still remains within swim range for both teams. So the question remains, what would Vipers be discussing? I think they're discussing their defense. I'm hearing talk of tackles, which is interesting because don't think their defense is massively lacking. I think Vipers really, if they want to look at themselves, they want to improve their scoring output. They've limited Kelpies to 3. Kelpies should be very proud of themselves for how they've been handling themselves. They've kept very calm, very level-headed throughout this, and I think that's been making Vipers rush and make some silly mistakes that they don't necessarily need to make. I think Kelpies do need to be a bit more careful. This past few runs, they've been caught out a bit more. There seems to have been a few more fast breaks. They've got to make sure that they're not being caught out. But Kelpies are also doing very well of knowing that when they're under pressure, making sure that if they're going to do something, they're at least shooting away from their hoops or passing to someone behind the hoops so that when the ball is turned over, it's at least not on the halfway line. So they're doing very good at that. Timeout is over. Quaffle with Vipers, bludger dominance with Kelpies. Score 4-3 to Vipers. And we have the Quaffle being screened by the Vipers bludger. And Gigi fake shotting, got shade on the right, chooses to use Emily Burton behind. Unfortunately, does lose a that might have gone in just, or it might have just hit the edge, but it was a bit too slow and was easily battered out of the air by the Vipers' defense. The Kelpies' defense, apologies. Kelpies advancing up the pitch again, slowly. Eamon setting it up. That's always important as well. When you're advancing up pitch, make sure that you're communicating with the team, setting it up where you want them to be. They've got a nice little diamond formed up. Vipers playing a compact bailer, realizing maybe that Eamon likes to shoot, so removing that. They've got a taller man, male body player on the central hoop as Eamon passes it around to number 5, Tembrink, for Kelpies. Screen coming from the Kelpies beta. They do seem like teams that are both set up very similarly, so maybe this is why we're seeing a very even game in that both teams are having to exploit the same areas. And that's a beat out on Emily Burton on the smaller hoop, and a good vision from Glover to move into that, but then very quickly cancels and communicates that. Oh, and the Vipers beater utilizing the fumble from Eamon to get that beaten, and unfortunately with that pressure the ball is too high and is intercepted by Emily Burton, and now we are with the Vipers keeper Baker as they advance up the pitch. Like Kelpies, one bludger screening the quaffle. It's interesting there because both are setting up the same way with their bludger for attack, but only one team obviously has dominance as per. So Kelpies being a bit more conservative with their second bludger, choosing to keep it, which I think is a fair enough estimation. Eamon passing it to number 5, setting up. But as you can see, yeah, Rick's sitting deep back. Fogg actually not with the quaffle this time. Fogg being tackled by Lucy Nichols. Tap beats them and comes in towards the Vipers beater, but misses the beat. But the beat is missed at Fogg, so then the ball is we're passed around again. Not much has changed for the beater game. Oh, a tackle by Emily Burton. A whisk brooms down though from the head ref. What is it going to be? Might have been a bit from behind. Yeah, that is a yellow card to Emily Burton for Vipers for contact from behind. Was chasing after a player who was finding that loose ball and unfortunately was a bit too eager to stop them. We have actually also got Seekers warming up at the side of the pitch already as well. And we have got Eamon Harrison attempts to throw it back, but has kept the quaffle then. A reset is used from that. But the two bludgers, Ricks and Fogg, doing very well to essentially form this impenetrable screen. It is looking like Vipers have lost their opportunity to get out of swim range and might have to rely on the snitch. But they have certainly got a seasoned seeker from this tournament. Molly, who is 3 for 4 for snitch catches so far. Eamon Harrison advancing down on the right slowly. Finds number 5. He has a great opportunity and he pops it in. Beautiful little vision. No, Ollie, for a moment, just caught, not realizing that the goal had gone in. But that brings us to 4 all on the snitch catch. A very good goal from Kelpies, very good vision. Unfortunate for Vipers that essentially once you get close up to that bailer, you can't really do much. You can't tackle. You can only hope they can just be blocked. And you have to hope for your beaters. And unfortunately, they were caught up in the other beater battle. And that is double chaser pressure put on the quaffle carrier, and that is a just missed beat as the little hop from number 1 for Vipers manages to pop that one in. Very simple goal, very clean goal. Unfortunate for the Kelpies beater to miss out on that, as the Kelpies beater is now also tying their shoelaces and is now back in the game. And Vipers and also all of us have gained dominance, which as we approach the snitch on pitch is a very good thing for them. And we have number 5 now in the keeper headband, advancing it up the pitch. Josh Fogg hitting at Timothy Luke, but Timothy blocks it with the bludger. Now a high press being called, and this is a good opportunity for, as we have, number 21 making a beautiful lung-busting sprint, but unfortunately unable to get, as they sprint and then have to turn, they are unable to get around and stop them. And that means Vipers extend their lead by 2 points now. Maybe they can get back out of range. They have 6-4 to Vipers as our snitch, Billy Barker, is released. Snitch ref Sam Instone. And we advance with number 5 for Kelpies. Screened by Sam Tullock, unarmed beater. Fog coming around on the left, sneaking behind, assessing. Tulloch all moving up to Timothy Luke, who has taken the hit and done the beat as they fall over to the left for Kelpies with the quaffle. They have options around. An underarm pass as they take the tackle. And through the hoop! Wonderful little work of taking the tackle, taking the beat, and putting it through the hoop. Very well done. That just shows the benefits of calm. And Seekers are released! And we have Jandals for Kelpies and Molly for Vipers. And Fog comes in, setting up that bubble and beats the Seeker. It appears that also the beat was happening on Jandals. The dominance is with Kelpies, who are choosing to go for one of their bludgers on Snitch, one of their bludgers on Quaffle, and that is a goal for Vipers, taking us to 7-5. And we are having a discussion with the refereeing team. Unsure what this might be. Our score is 7-5. Either team can catch to win. This has been a very entertaining game, actually. No call. We're ready to go again. All to play for. Kelpie's keeper has the ball. Interesting, now that they have the ball on the offense, will Sam Tulloch join the Snitch bubble? It appears so. Sam Tulloch actually utilizing very well to keep the much of it. A goal to Kelpies as well brings it to 7-6. Sam Tulloch not yet beating the Seeker, allowing that time on. I think worried about losing dominance to Sam Tulloch. Timothy Luke circling around. A tap beat for Molly, utilizing that time where they're being pressured. And Fog bats away that bludger. Another goal to Vipers, 80-60. Oh, and an incredible moment of Fog. Oh, Fog gets that beat. Oh, and a catch from Sam Tulloch. Beautifully done. So much happening in this moment. But Sam Tulloch is leaving the Seeker because of the pressure from Timothy Luke, but should just be sacrificing. No. Sorry, apologies for this trend. Oh, it appears that Molly was dismounted by the Snitch. So that is very good. But Lucy Nichols keeping an eye on the Seeker alone. It is a difficult one, and it's very difficult not to get caught up. But the main priority should always be, if that Seeker is present on the pitch, that you should be beating that. Once again, Sam Tulloch sort of having best of both worlds here. But they don't have dominance, the Seekers. And that gives time for Jandals now has time on the ball. And there is a beat by Sam Tulloch on the Vipers Seeker. And now we come back to the Seeker game. Dominance now with Vipers. Not going for the... Now they have beat the Seeker. Lucy Nichols, unfortunately, unable to do the catch, but Sam Tulloch not seeing the Seeker. Oh, just manages to get that beat. And now dominance is with Kelpies. If Sam Tulloch does very well to choose to sacrifice that ball, does Josh Fogg know that there is a loose ball? Does not, but Sam Tulloch is lucky enough that there is not anyone there to go and get that. And so we have both teams choosing to opportunistically get involved in the quaffle play for their beaters. It's very, very frenetic energy to this game, and it's the chaser for Vipers who comes in, takes a shot, should have maybe taken an extra step, but goes for the shot and is blocked. Eamon Harrison to go for the same, no support on their side as they try and charge it in, but now we do. Number 5 takes the tackle, pops it over the top. Sam Tulloch beating the Seeker, Timothy Luke beating the Seeker, Timothy Luke beat, Josh Fogg beat. It's everywhere. And it's dominance likely with Kelpies. Oh, Josh Fogg maybe not beat in the end. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. And Jandals getting now time on this. Oh, no, it's now dismounted. Jandals had some time. Billy Barker doing very well to dismount the Seekers, keep them out. And GG scores for Vipers, taking the score to 9-6. Maybe that goal did not count for Kelpies earlier, it appears. Jandals having time on Snitch. Oh, very nearly gets their fingertips width away. And then uses Billy Barker. Oh, and uses the distraction of Billy Barker. I wonder if there's two hands kind of went in, but if it was just Billy Barker thinking that Jandals was not a threat. Unfortunately, turned their back to them. And open the opportunity for Jandals to catch. The score is 90-60, so we would go to overtime set score of 12, which would then just be first team to score 3. Very exciting end to this game, if that catch is called good. Lucy Nichols, captain for Vipers, asking an inquiry of the referees. Potentially, if there is a foul found in the build-up by Kelpies, then the catch will be called no good, even if the foul was not in the seeker play. But the question is, obviously, was the catch good? Was there potentially 2 arms coming around and wrapping Billy Barker in her desperation to catch Billy sleeping with their back turned to Jandals? It's been a very good bubble at times, but also one where it's felt like the beaters have kind of been split minds of whether they want to be on the quaffle and the snitch, which is a very difficult one to do. And sometimes if you just want to keep it simple, just beat the seeker and don't worry, let the rest of the game unfold. But we will see what the decision is coming up. The score is 90-60 currently, no snitch catch. That is 92 Vipers. If the snitch is called, catch is called good for Kelpies, that will be 90 all with a set score of 120 to reach. Whoever reaches that first will win the game. It's a long discussion between the refereeing team. Clearly a lot of intricacies, difficult to judge. Catch is good. 90 all, set score of 120. Congratulations to Jandals, who caught Billy Barker there, the snitch. Seekers leave the field of play, and the game resumes for the quaffle play as it was previously. And now Eamon giving a talk to his team, emphasizing the need for clinical efficiency, no loose offenses, making sure that every time they go up they get a goal, because this will be, if they go for trade, you can't risk that at this kind of point, because whoever scores first, if you trade for trade, will just win this. But it is Kelpies with the ball. Glover, 24, with the keeper headband. Passes it back to Eamon. Eamon seeking refuge behind Fog. Dominance with Kelpies. Kelpies choosing to keep Sam Tullock back, the one of the armed beaters. And Kelpies choosing to take it slow. They don't have that central hoop like they used to, now that they've got Gigi with their height. But Eamon choosing to get around. But again, unfortunately, just with that hop as they're coming down, unfortunately overjudges how much they need to go down, and unfortunately then hits the floor instead. It was a good vision to take that hit. Maybe could have gone a step closer and taken the hit properly, so then they didn't have to aim around Gigi and overcompensate in that way. But it is Gigi on the ball, with protection from Lucy Nichols. Beats the point chaser, but there is still pressure from the chaser 21. A wild ball as he falls from Gigi. Unfortunately goes out for a Kelpies ball. If we look at what Eamon was asking of his team of no loose offenses, unfortunately that was a loose offense from Vipers, showing that that is the difficulty and the danger in this kind of game when it's 3 goals to score. And Kelpies running up the pitch. Jandals on the ball, catcher of the snitch, now carrier of the quaffle. Oh, a fake shot and a fake cry to Eamon. Dodges the bludger, passes it over to number 21, who's in a perfect position, just tipped away for Gigi, so just stops it coming perfectly to Eamon. If it had fallen to Eamon, that would have surely been a goal. Fog providing support to Eamon, but is screened by the unarmed beater. Oh, and Eamon just a bit too high, fingertip high, but it's still kicked back, kept in by Jandals. Beautifully done. Throws toward the middle hoop. Gigi blocks it. That is the ball is now with Vipers, but Gigi is only a chaser, so is able to be tackled, but now the ball is with the Vipers keeper. Vipers still keeping bludger dominance. The stable beater partnership of Fog and Rix. And the unarmed beater just putting a bit of pressure on Fog, not allowing them to pressure the point chaser themselves, but now is able to come back, beats the receiver of number 1, meaning that Vipers don't have anyone behind hoops right now. Oh no, they do, sorry, speak a lie. Number 1 lurking by the right hoop, just on Eamon's shoulder. And right now behind Eamon, GG does see them, considers the option, but I think realizes the distance there is not quite won't be able to get you. Have to get very shallow. They need to be a bit further back if they want to get around Eamon. But GG saw the opportunity, a very good opportunity, but unfortunately is unable to get it through the hoop, spins the hoop. That's something we've seen a few times this game. And unfortunately the goal is no good. And we have a change in personnel. Number 5 for Kelpies on. Eamon carrying the ball. Jandals in white as well. And the partnership of Ricks and Fog. And we have Lucy Nichols, Marcus Judge. Marcus the unarmed beater. And ducks under the beat as they make contact. Jandals found in position. Unfortunately, lots of people in the way now, but number 5 there. Number 5 dodges the contact, the beat, and unfortunately is not good. It just bounces on the rim and just falls the wrong side of the hoop. We've had it's incredible that we're still at 9-all, really. The amount of times we've had close calls here, but maybe the pressure is getting to the teams. Maybe they're rushing. They're not being sloppy. It's been good positional build-up from the players. They're doing the right things. They've got the right ideas, but unfortunately it's just not been working for them. Jandals used the opportunity to come in, make contact with GG, and that is wonderfully done as the forcing that pass from GG to then number 25, who can be then beat by the Kelpies beater. But, number 1 has come in behind Eamon, but unfortunately unable, just slips out of their fingers. Abba there slipping through his fingers. And again, comes in continuously popping it out of people, but can he even get a place of his own medicine? No, he cannot, but wonderful work from number 21, slowly just bringing them down, eventually just chopping together their upper thighs so that they fall over. This is no bludgers, all bludgers are on the ground. It's a no bludger situation. A huge hit from number 5. What a hit, son! But unfortunately, it does appear that an injury has been sustained. It was a very legal hit from number 5, just a very strong one, unfortunately for them. But looks like we have taken an injury from that. But unfortunately, that has stopped a fast break for Kelpies, who would then be able to put them up 2 away from winning the game, having caught from 3 down. Eamon on the quaffle, but Lucy Nichols with the bludger, it looks like actually is to the right. Trying to work out what her broom is. Yeah, a bit to the right, so a difficult one. It's about the chasers being able to slow down Eamon. And of course, Eamon has been a bit trigger happy this game. Eamon, I could very much see being tempted to take the shot. And unfortunately, Eamon, based on how they've been doing, maybe hasn't had their eye in this one for long range distance shots yet. Obviously that could all change, but I feel like he will be considering what is the best avenue to take. Has got Jandals to the left, but unfortunately behind, so would need to slow it down. But it's only one chaser in front, to be fair. I thought that was another chaser, but that turns out to just be their beater. So the question becomes, what is the decision? A lot of time, almost as like a penalty at this point. The consideration, lots of permutations that could be happening for the Kelpies chasers. Score is 9-all, set score 12. Kelpies having caught from behind to level the scores. Kelpies looking for their first win of the tournament. Vipers looking to add to their win from yesterday against West Country Rebels. And number 25 comes off injured to applause, replaced by number 11 for Vipers, Baker. And timeout is called. Utilizing this broom's down. Normally we aren't able to call a timeout after snitch has been released, but with the overtime and the timeout, they're able to call this. I think both teams just need to calm down a little bit. They've definitely felt a bit more frantic even in this set score. We've seen a lot more sloppiness and rushing than we saw in all of the game before. And I think it's a shame because these are two teams that scored 6 and 9 respectively, did very well for that. And it seems like they've just lost it a little bit. And it's about taking it a bit calmer, taking their time. And we hopefully are seeing Kelpies will get a goal, should get a goal from this position. It's been, the XG should be very high for this kind of position. That quaffle there right by the Vipers huddle. A wave being given to, I presume they are highlighting Josh Fogg as a threat. Kelpies have been playing very well this game, I have to say. I think a big thing has been their beta play. I think their beta play has been solid enough that it has allowed them to stay resolute defensively. There have been some rushes and mistakes on attack, but I think that's been the same for both teams. Eamon with the quaffle, Lucy Nichols to his right, chase it in front. Can he take the, he takes the hit, but he doesn't quite get it in, and unfortunately, oh, Jandals was not beat, but shit, oh no, Jandals was beat then. So unfortunately, the ball did not, so it was, ended up not. But number 5 doing perfectly to get that, but unfortunately is beat by the screening beater and collected now. Number 21, very, very good at initiating the contact and has had very good success with their tackles, but unfortunately that was maybe a bit too high to gain much benefit, especially when the beater was already on the quaffle. And so it is dominance with Vipers. Advancing down. Oh, Joshua Fogg bats away a bleat from Marcus Judge, but dominance has managed to stay. The speed of the Vipers beaters managing to keep the ball for them as they win the foot race against Ricks. And so keep Kelpies advance, and with the quaffle, no dominance. And we have the ball over on the left for the Kelpies keeper. And Eamon with it. Oh, and unlucky. Eamon somehow being dispossessed. You'd think he'd be able to keep his arm away from that. And ball over the top to number 17, Jandals, who, and Gigi just a bit too tall. They keep trying for this middle hoop, and I think that they maybe need to realize that they're not getting much luck with that middle hoop. But Eamon enjoying that passing link between himself and Jandals. Josh Fogg not seeing that the blood quafflers maybe surpassed them. And that is a goal by Baker. Very simple ball over the top and using his size to push that one through. Very, very good goal. And that takes our scores to 10-9, set score of 12. That is Vipers in the lead. And we have Kelpies pushing up, looking for the equalizer to take them 2 within. Bit high for Eamon, a bit on his shoulder, but then beautiful play from Josh Fogg to utilize and free up what Jandals would have had to be running into a Vipers beater, but instead Josh Fogg manages to get the beat. But actually, also credit, as I'm talking about that, should be given to Jandals, who managed to basically work through 3 players, nearly get it, but unfortunately they sat all on it. And Josh Fogg doing beautifully to beat out Gigi in the fast break. Oh, and a trip on Eamon there. And a brooms down called. I don't think it was too intentional. However, unfortunately, there was a trip, and that was a fast break that was beaten out. I don't think it would have necessarily gone in. There would have been Eamon running towards 2 bludgers, and maybe this brooms down has almost given Eamon a chance to realize that this is maybe not the best fast break for them. Oh dear, that is a illegal contact for Emily Burton, a yellow card. However, it is her 2nd yellow, which means that she is evicted from the pitch. Another player will have to serve her time. However, as it is only a double yellow, that will be able to be released from the sin bin after a minute if there is not a goal scored. And if there is a goal scored, they will be able to proceed straight back to it. That will be a loss for Vipers. Emily Burton has been a potent attacking threat, especially at the start of this game. I think Kelpies have maybe wised up a bit more to her. Eamon now taking it a bit slower, realizing the defensive setup he is facing in terms of the beaters and realizing that it is not the best opportunity. Joshua Fogg circling around, unarmed beater looking for the opportunity as Eamon reaches the keeper line. Pass it over to 24. Good communication. Jandals out wide. Jandals pushing it through, seeing to Eamon. Eamon fumbles it! I don't believe it! And Gigi blocks it perfect, blocks Samtolok's beat, and that is Gigi, a very simple goal. That is a misery compiler. Kelpies going from what should, by all right, have been a goal to equalise. Hi to Jess's mum and dad from Samtolok there. I hope it suggests, I couldn't quite make that one out, but that is a hi to her from Samtolok by request. But that is a misery compiler for Kelpies, going from what should have really been their goal to equalise it, just slipping through the fingertips of Eamon Harrison, and then that turning into a fast break in which they could see that is almost a 2-goal swing, basically. Well, there are 2 goals now anyway, but it was a full. The damage was deeper than just the lack of a goal. And so now Vipers eager, hungry for the final goal. Gigi coming in. Samtolok beats, swatted out the air, the pass by Eamon Harrison. Eamon Harrison now keen for it, but running towards 2 beaters. This dominance that Vipers have managed to keep, showing how vital it is. Eamon managing to switch the ball into other hands, as is wrapped up by Shade Cuthbert. And that is just too high for Jandals. It was a good vision, but just a bit too high, and it's been the case for Eamon for quite a few of this game. And we have the ball with Baker for Vipers, as dominance remains with Vipers. You feel like with dominance and the quaffle, it's only a matter of time for Vipers. That miss and that conceding really feels like it was the nail in the coffin for Kelpies, who have played very well. They have done very respectably, and it is a shame to see them go out to such a cruel twist of fate there. And that is the final. That is the final goal by Baker, number 11 for Vipers, running it through. Unfortunately, maybe just the tired legs of Kelpies unable to do that. Kelpies doing incredibly well. A very strong beta display, especially for them in this game. Vipers not quite at their best at the start of this game, but slowly grew into it. I think the addition of Gigi in the chaser lineup allowed them to change their physical makeup, almost matching like for like the physical presence of Eamon Harrison. Kelpies really, that swing in the overtime range of that missed opportunity to score, followed by conceding a goal immediately afterwards, probably was the thing that changed the game there. Kelpies having caught at 3 down to take it to overtime with a set score of 12. Unfortunately unable to score a goal in reply and losing 12-9 star to Vipers. That means that Vipers will go onwards to get a in their continuing placement. I'm unsure which point, but they will be hoping for a higher finish as possible. Kelpies looking for a lower amount. A lower position, but nonetheless looking for their first win of the game. But that is everything for this game. Stay tuned for a absolute humdinger of a game. Absolute humdinger of a game. It is the semi-final, LQC versus Werewolves of London. Something that people thought was gonna be the final, but unfortunately was not, because of the upset by LQC by Raptors. But stay tuned for that one. I've been Alex Lewis. This has been Kelpies versus Vipers. Thank you very much.